you doing? Welcome to a brand new video, and as always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you're not a resident of Chi-Town yet, make sure you subscribe. And as always, sincerely, thank you for sitting at my table. This situation I definitely wanted to talk about, Rodney Hinton's case with the situation with his son who got shot by a police officer. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, but I got things to say about it. You know what I mean? Obviously, everybody has opinions. It's like assholes these days, huh? You know what I mean? So, hey, I am going to talk about this because it needs to be talked about. But, we're going to take a look at the video of Rodney Hinton's son, just in case you didn't see what transpired. Because I want everybody to have a clear depiction of what just happened to what led up to Rodney Hinton's actions. Situation with the cops was in a stolen vehicle with others, ran out of the vehicle, cops pursued him. While he was running, he fell. He dropped the gun that he was carrying, and instead of leaving the gun on the floor, he decided to pick it up and to continue to run with the gun in his hands, which obviously led cops to fear for their lives, and they shot him, killing him with 2 shots. 4 shots rang out, but 2 shots got him. And that's very unfortunate for this young youth. It's just very unfortunate. Once again, a youth killed for the simple fact of making bad decisions in life. Because I am not going to blame the officer here, because the officer obviously feared for his life. Because obviously, let's use our common sense, an individual running with a gun in his hands, you're going to have to assume that they have intentions to use it. Let's not kid ourselves. Someone who has a gun in their hands, you're going to have to assume that they have intentions to use it. The cop thought or assumed that he was going to use the gun, so he took evasive maneuvers in action and took the youth's life, unfortunately. So now we're going to dive into Rodney Hinton, the father of this young man who died by the police. Decided to take justice into his own hands, and I don't call it justice. I call it an act of being a vigilante. Okay, it's not justice. And this is going to be a touchy subject right here, and I want people to understand what I'm about to say about Rodney, the father of the young man that was killed. He chose to take a vehicle and run over an officer because of the death of his son. Basically, an act of revenge. He got in his vehicle, decided to run over whatever officer he can find in retaliation for his son losing his life. Now, this is what I want people to understand, because we all know there's a lot of hard-headed people out there that won't understand or won't catch up to what I'm trying to say. I understand why Rodney decided to do this. I understand. As a parent, I understand why he decided to do this. Most of us would not have taken to that action, because a lot of us, or I would like to say most of us, have control of our emotions. But when you lose a child, no telling what action a specific parent may take. Because I try to sympathize with whatever situation I'm trying to digest so I can explain it honestly. Because if that was my child, I honestly don't know what I would have done. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done, because losing a child is so impactful. I mean, your way of thinking is gone. It's gone. How many times do we see murder cases of people's children getting killed, and there's no justice whatsoever? And I'm not saying that the officers, I'm not saying that the officers did wrong by his son. They acted in a way that I deem it excusable. as rough as it may sound. It is excusable. They had to defend themselves. They feared for their life. The individual was carrying a gun. And obviously they were in pursuit of that individual who was running away after committing a crime with a gun in his hand. I can understand why the officer took that youth's life. But in the case of Rodney, I can also understand as a parent why he took that way in retaliation to what just transpired with his son. Was it wrong? Absolutely. Because on top of that, he killed an officer that had nothing to do with the situation that transpired with his son. Nothing to do with it. So was he wrong? Absolutely. Would I praise that type of vigilante act or whatever? No, absolutely not. That's what I just can't understand. People applauding him for taking the life of someone who had nothing to do with what happened to his son. You got people on the GoFundMe, I'm not sure if it's still up, talking about they take one of us, we take one of theirs. I mean, what is this, Thunderdome? What Rodney Hinton did was completely wrong. Completely wrong. And for people praising this act, something's got to be wrong with you. Because if it was your father out there, who's a police officer, who's out there trying to protect the city, and you find out someone killed him for a situation he had no control over because he was not involved in that situation at all, you guys would not be acting like this. People always fail to try to put themselves in that situation. They are quick to just act on what they just witnessed. They're just quick to act. Try to slow down and try to sympathize with who's going through that situation and try to reminisce. What would you do? And I bet you won't be too quick to say what a lot of people are saying about this young man who ran over an officer who had nothing to do with his son's death. What transpired with this situation is very, very sad. The loss of a young kid. Now the life loss of his father. He has no life now. He's definitely going to be guilty. I think he's going to be incarcerated for the rest of his life. Guaranteed. He's done. And God forbid he has any children, any other kids, because now he's out of their lives. No, there's no win here. There's no win here. People think he won because he ran over an officer. Nobody wins here. At all. What transpired with this young man who was killed by the cops was a decision that he chose to take, not realizing that there may be consequences that come with it that may endanger your life. And that's what transpired with him, and that's why he lays deceased to this day. It's brutal, but it's a fact. He made a decision that cost him his life. If he wasn't doing a criminal act, if he wasn't stealing someone's car, someone who worked really hard to get that car, who God knows how they stole that car. They probably held the person at gunpoint. God, who knows what happened when they stole that car? All I know is they stole a vehicle. And now he's 10 feet under, unfortunately. And now, on top of that, because of the decision he made, his father is going to jail for the rest of his life. And people are applauding the fact that his father took a life who had nothing to do with what happened to his son. This world is turning to a world that I simply can't digest anymore. It's just, I don't understand it. The people who are applauding this, when someone takes your car, let them have it then. If it's like that, let them have it. Since you're applauding, because if you are applauding Rodney for taking a life, then obviously you're not taking in no count or holding the son accountable for what is happening to his father. None of you guys are holding the son accountable. None of you. I'm holding that son accountable despite the fact that he lost his life. He's accountable to everything that's happening. He's accountable 100%. This is not about color. It's about right and wrong. Right and wrong. Which a lot of us just lost the complete and utter vision of. This is Black Shy Guy. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And as always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And if you're not a resident of Chi-Town, make sure you subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.
Dunking and hitting jumpers, kept Marvin Rich with him. Leo Rose like, why you dump us? Saturday's deposit, chasing SunTrust. Word to Donald, they no one will ever choke us. About to put that in my bio.